Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Guntown Podcast, episode 224. I'm Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving it a shot. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Touched by Trice. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure we'll all be inspired by her story. Let's chop it up with Trice McBride. Trice, how's it going?
What's going on?
Can't call it. How you feeling?
I feel good. I feel good.
Glad to hear that. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me. I really appreciate it.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you
Yes.
for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, we'll talk about all the great things you got going on with Touched by Trees. But before we talk business, let's get to know the woman behind the brand, born and raised in the Gump. How was your upbringing in the city?
Um, I loved it. As a child growing up here, you meet so many people, when you go to school here. And so to branch out and, start a business and you get to continue to meet, new people and see different faces, it's an honor.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So you had a pretty good upbringing coming up in Montgomery. So it's safe to assume you had a pretty good village around you growing up.
I did. I did. I love my family. The best village you can have.
Yes, ma'am. And it takes a village, though. You definitely need that love, that tender love and care when you're doing right. And you need that discipline when you're doing
You're
wrong.
doing
That's the
wrong. Absolutely. My mom was a fan of that. She did not have a problem discipline. So
Hey, that's what it takes. And you know what? As you become an adult, you look back and you start to realize, like, hey, I appreciate the butt whoopings I got, you know?
right, right. Because they made me the woman that I am today. So, if I didn't have my dad was pretty lenient, he didn't do the whooping and my mom called him up one time to, discipline us and he hit the bed and told me to cry. So that just tells you how it how
Okay.
it went. Yeah.
Hey, I respect the dynamic. Pops with the chill one
Uh-huh.
and mom laid the hammer down. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, good stuff. So after you finish up all your schooling and all that good stuff, growing up in Montgomery, did you go to college, military, or did you go right to work?
I went to Alabama State. I graduated from Alabama State University in 2020.
Greatest HBCU in the land, the Alabama State
ASU.
University.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. So how was the HBCU experience for you?
Well, at the time, my mom and my godmom was sick, so I didn't get the real college experience because, I was working and going to school and also trying to be there for them. So, the part that I did, in experience, I loved it. I got to meet some amazing friends, who are still friends with me to this day. So, I'm grateful for the opportunities, the lessons that ASU has, instilled in me. And hey, go! I'm forever an ASU fan.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I definitely understand that part you were talking about. You had to take care of mom and family and just had to step in and do what you had to do. So you didn't really get a chance to do all the partying and hanging out. So you had to be focused on working, school, and take care of your family. I respect it.
Yep.
Okay. What did you end up getting your degree in?
So I graduated with my bachelor's degree in rehabilitation services. Um,
Okay.
I didn't know at the time that I would be doing hair, but God has a plan for us all. So, like I said, I enjoyed my time there, my experience with graduating and things like that. It shaped me. It definitely taught me a lesson. Going to school and getting my degree, something that I thought I couldn't do. So, I accomplished that.
Yes, ma'am. Man, that's so dope that you got a chance to graduate in spite of everything that you were juggling, taking care of family, working a full-time job, and you still found the time to get into your books, your studies, and walk across that stage and get that degree.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. So that's great. So as it relates to your gift of doing hair, when did you first discover you had this gift?
Um, it was right before the pandemic. I was working my job and it was I didn't have a love for it. Let me say that. I was working at a call center and it really wasn't paying me what I wanted. And so one December, right before December 2019, I put a status on Facebook and I said $50 a head. No matter what length or how short, you can come get your hair retwisted for $50. And I did so good. I I wanted to start a business, but I was scared. So I ended up talking to my best friend, and she said, "What's the harm in it?" She said, "Give it a year, and in a year, if it doesn't work out, at least you know you tried." So I gave it a year, and that year was a success. And hey, we're 6 years strong now, so I
Hmm.
think I did pretty good.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You did awesome, amazing. Like, congrats to you for making it 6 years
Thank
in
you.
business. 6 years down, plenty more to go. Like, hey, I know you far.
Absolutely,
I know you far
absolutely.
from finished, but that's great that you stepped out there, put that status out there that hey, $50 ahead, and people started reaching out and all that good stuff. So just just to even back up a little bit. So, what age would you say? So, was it in 2020 that you realized that you could do hair? Like, when did you first discover you could do?
Yeah, so I've been doing hair for a while. My nephew, his locks, I started doing his because she didn't have anybody to do it. So it was a thing of learning how just to do his hair, and I liked it. So I started doing his hair. Then I started her hair, his mom's hair, and I started doing his dad's hair. And so it was just pretty much just doing theirs, and that's how it got started for me. And like I said, when the pandemic happened, I made the website, I made the logo, and I just went from there and started the business. Scared and all, but I did it. I started in my mom's house, and when COVID got worse, um I bought a utility house, and then I my dad insulated it and put electricity in there and everything, and I started doing hair behind the house, and then from there it just flourished.
Okay, sounds good. So you got a chance to start doing hair, start doing your family's hair, and that you got a chance to really like practice and perfect the craft
Absolutely.
by starting there, and then it just evolved, and you just continue to just take those steps. And hey, that's uh that's so great just to hear just the step by step evolution of how you started working at a call center, realizing they weren't paying you the money that wanted to be paid. So rather than crying about it or blaming, saying why me, you figured out a way out of that situation, and that's what it's all about in life. Just figuring out a way, just figuring something out.
Right, right. Because I mean, who wants to work for somebody else? If you can make your own schedule and still have time for yourself, why not do it? So
Yes,
that's the
ma'am.
way I look at it.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Why not? So, Touched by Trees, the company name itself, very intriguing, and I'm big into brand names and the origins of them. So, what inspired you to name your company this?
Um, well, the way I came up with the name, I'm a spiritual type person, and I believe that what's for you is always going to be for you. And so the people that God sent to me to for me to bless their crowns, when they leave, I just want them to know that they got something from that appointment besides getting their hair done. So a touch, and it's by me, so I just put touch by Trees.
Okay, very organic way, like tying it in with your spirituality and
Mhm.
just like no, that's what it's about all about. Just coming up with those organic names and
Right.
thank you for sharing that because I definitely was intrigued just in terms of how you came up with it. Very organic
Thank you.
way. Yes, ma'am. So whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, I like to talk about three things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. And hearing you talk earlier, it sounds like working at that call center and realizing you weren't making the money you wanted to make. That was your initial aha moment.
It was. It really was. And at the time I was going to school, and they kept messing up my schedule with school. So it will be saying that I was supposed to be at work at the time that I was in school. Wasn't working for me, and so I wanted something different, basically. And so I would call out of work to do hair, and eventually I just quit. You know.
Yes, ma'am. I definitely understand that. Hey, playing with your time, playing with your money, and schedule all which way. So I definitely understand just in terms of how that was, how that was basically like just pushing you to get away from that situation. Because
Yeah,
like
their schedule was like off. Like I would go in at 2, I wouldn't get out to 10. That it was just wasn't working. So, yeah, I found my craft of what I loved, and I stuck with it.
yes, ma'am, good stuff. So that action portion. So from the time you had your initial aha moment, how long did it take you to come up with a name, get a logo, and get all the LLC and business stuff situated?
Um, well, to get it to where I want it, because when you're starting out, you don't really know. what you're doing. And so you have to, you ask questions and things like that. So it took me to get the logo and the name and all of that about 3 months. Now the other part came later because again, I was young, I was still learning, I didn't know I had to have all of that. So it came with time. Um, but like I said, we're 6 years in and been going strong. So
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And like, 3 months to get everything started and situated, that's not a long time at all. Sounds like,
mm-mm.
hey, you had an idea, you got right to it. You didn't sit around overthinking, overanalyzing.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. You just gotta, when you have an idea, you gotta act on it quickly. Otherwise, you can easily talk yourself out of it. And I'm glad you didn't
Definitely
talk yourself
will.
out of it.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. So that last portion, audacity, it's one thing to have an idea. It's another thing to put it out to the world. It's another thing to put action behind the idea, but to put it out to the world to be praised or criticized. That's where the
Right.
audacity comes in my opinion. And just hearing you talk, Trees, it sounds like you gave yourself that audacity to put this business out to the world.
Absolutely. Yep. I did. And like I said, it was scary, but what's the harm in it? You either gonna fail or it's gonna work. So um and when it fails, you just rewrite the vision and go back again.
Absolutely. That's the mindset to have. And I'll even add to that, like for me, there are blessings and there are lessons. Sometimes things don't work out, but there's a lesson in everything.
Absolutely.
So it's just one of them things, like you said, it was no harm in giving it a shot. And if things didn't go your way, hey, you learned some valuable lessons and now you know what not to do the next time. But
Right.
fortunately, everything worked out for you and I'm happy everything worked out for you. That's dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So when you made that crucial decision to walk away from the job, so when you got ready to walk away from the job, did you tell any of your colleagues what you was about to do, or did you just leave?
It was during the pandemic, so they gave us an option to work from home or take a leave. And I tried the work from home thing, but the computer wasn't working, so I told them to just give me a leave. And I took a 90-day leave, and then when my 90 days was up, my manager texted me and she said, "Hey, your 90 days are up. Do you wish to come back to work?" And I texted her and I said, "I'm not telling you I quit, and I didn't tell you to fire me. But whatever y'all see fit to do, that's what you do."
Hmm. Hey, I definitely
Yep.
understand that. So in those 90 days, I'm pretty sure in those 90 days you filled that time up with doing hair and perfecting the craft and building your business.
I did. I did. And it's funny that I look back now from when I first started and I look at pictures of when I did hair and you can see the difference and in the work. So I'm real proud of that.
Yes, ma'am, and that's a lot to be proud of. I mean, just hearing you talk about how you started, like you started doing your family's hair, and that's great that you've been able to, like, from where you started to where you are now, 6 years, perfecting this craft, adding to your skill set, building up your clientele. Like, that's the cool thing about the journey. Like, especially when you take pictures and document everything, like you get a chance to look back and be like, you know what, I I've come so far from where I started, and hey, I got plenty more to go.
Absolutely. Can't stop here.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. So, would you been a full-time entrepreneur, working for yourself, running the business, doing great things as a entrepreneur, and pretty much everything is on your shoulders as it relates to the business? Like, what do you do to decompress and get away from the hustle and bustle?
What is that?
Okay.
um so I don't know how to decompress sometimes. I have to make myself take off days because I will literally work. But luckily I have two little ones and I have a husband who um who requires my time. So I can't be at work all day now like I used to. So I take that time to, spend with family when I'm not at work.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, and that's what it's all about. Trish just finding those outlets, and that's great. You got husband, your kids, and spending quality time with family. Like that's a great outlet to get away from the hustle and bustle.
It is.
Okay, sounds good. So, also saw on your Facebook profile that you're also an author. So, what inspires you to want to come into this space and write books?
My daughter. She is the greatest inspiration for that book. My mom, the loctician. She took an interest in doing hair, and I don't know. It's just we read books. I read books to them often, and so um, I just said one day that I wanted to write a book, and it's about me and her. It's a story that lets her know that she can do anything that she puts her mind to, and you can be anything you want to be. You don't have to sell yourself short, basically.
Hmm. And I think that's so amazing, like, being inspired by your daughter and writing this book. And like you said, like just letting her know there are no limits to what you can do and what you can become. And I mean, I just think it's so cool because, it's so dope what you got going on, like as an entrepreneur building a business, but
Thank you.
yes, ma'am. But to venture off and become an author, like I think that's solid as well because that's a piece of property that'll outlive you for generations, and people will be able to look back and be like, they'll be able to look back and say, I'm so glad great 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 grandmama had the idea to become an author and leave this
Yeah.
behind. And it's all about legacy. Like that's what I'm getting at.
Right. Yep. And,
Yeah.
and I just want them to look back one day and say, "Wow, like my mama really thought enough of me to do this." Like I don't know. Being a mom is such an amazing gift, and I'm honored to be their mother. And for every lesson that they teach me, even while they're young. So that was my inspiration for writing the book. Yep.
Yes, ma'am, and that's so awesome. Like just having that inspiration and just them little ones, like you said, like they'll be able to look back and forever be proud of their mom for stepping out and writing the book and starting the business and just doing it, doing it scared, doing it afraid, but doing it anyway. Because hey, life is, last time I checked, we don't get any do-overs, so you got to live it up.
You definitely got to deliver. You only get one. You only get one life, and if you're fortunate enough to get a second chance, live it to the fullest. Because I believe life will always throw us curveballs, but it's all about how you navigate through it. It's gonna always be a test, and trials gonna come, but it's not how you handle the storm. It's about how you get through the storm. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
No, that's spot on. Like what you just said, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like life is always gonna throw tests your way. It's always, and I mean, especially when you start praying for stuff. It seems like when you pray for some, the first thing God sends your way is a test. So let's just say, for instance, you pray for patience. The first thing God sends your way is a test of your patience. So I don't know if that's been your
Yeah.
experience, but that's what life is all about, just being tested.
It is. It's definitely about whew, and sometimes you can be in the fight of your life, but you still have to have that faith to know that, even though my world is shaky, my faith is still strong. And so no matter what God throws your way, you can handle it because he's already equipped you to handle it. So
Yes, ma'am. That's a bar, and that's 100% fact. So that's great. How long did it take you to write that book from cover to cover?
Um, it took us, well, me, the book, the whole process. Shatara Clark, she made it so easy for me. I contacted her, I told her about the book, and she wrote the contract up, and we got started. I think it took So my first time speaking to her was in February. The book was finished in July. So yeah,
Okay,
from
so
top to
like,
bottom, about what, 6 months, less than that.
okay, hey, y'all got
Yeah.
right to it. Hey,
Hmm.
got right to it. Had the concept, had the contract, got everything situated, and that's what I'm talking about. Just got right after it, wrote the book, and now you got a product that's gonna live on forever.
Right.
Yes,
Yep.
ma'am. So you've done great things in this entrepreneurial space, owning this salon as well as an author. And I know great things are coming down the pipeline, which leads to my next portion, vision. What are some of your short-term and long-term goals in this entrepreneurial space you feel comfortable sharing?
Short term goals. Ooh, that is a kicker. I wasn't expecting that. So my long term goal is to keep going. I have so much in store. Um, I'm actually working on another book now for my son. Um, I want that out before next by March of next year. So I got my fingers crossed on that, as well as I want to own my own shop one day. So yeah, that's my long term goal. And my short term goal, I would say, is to just I don't know, keep striving for greatness.
But I definitely understand that. Like those are great goals, striving for greatness, writing a book for your son and owning your
Yeah,
own shop. Those are all great goals. And just hearing you talk and that belief you have in yourself, I have no doubt you'll put in that work and make it come to fruition.
that's my prayer. I hope so.
Yes, ma'am. So as we wrap up the podcast, Treese, I want to ask the $1 million question. I started this podcast because I wanted to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery. Whether you're from here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work, you being a hometown hero, I got to ask you, what do you appreciate the most about the city of Montgomery?
When we come together, when we can really come together, and come as one without all the negativity, you know. This world is full of trouble, but it's so beautiful to see people to just when they can just get along and we can go out and just enjoy life without the worry of something's gonna happen, you know?
Yes, ma'am. I definitely understand that. Definitely understand that just in terms of like, the city is a beautiful place when we all on one accord and, just
Right,
hopefully we can continue to make strides to stay on one accord. I mean, it's not necessarily the most. I put it to you like this, Trees. I think we should just keep that energy we had for the riverboat brawl. I think we should just be cool,
right.
tight like that at all times. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm
Yeah, if
not,
we could come together like that, like
yeah.
I know they were saying earlier that day it was women down there paying homage to the ancestors, and then that happened, and it's like they just came together. If we could get on one accord like that, the world would be such a better place.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. That's good stuff. Powerful stuff. So, Treese, how can the people connect with you? What are your social media handles and website?
I'm on social media, Facebook at touchbytrees.com or B McBride. That's BEA, and McBride is I'm sorry, MC capital BRIDE. Instagram is touch_by_trees_. And of course it's the same thing on TikTok, Touch by Trees.
Too easy. And of course, I'll put all of that information in the description of the episode. Hey, Treese, thanks again for the conversation. I really appreciate you.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumtown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you.